y'all.
Hey.
I'm Shakora.
And I'm Ebony.
And welcome to the Unapologetically Us podcast, where we talk about
life, mental health, fitness, finances,
and everything in between. First of all, what just happened there? I don't know. But welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Girl, I don't even know what just happened, but just ignore it.
Oh, this is the opening. We just gonna let it rock.
That's just it. Let it rock. Lean with it, rock with it.
So thank y'all for joining us. Or whatever, we back.
We here. It's happening.
Second episode of the day.
Woohoo.
Anyway. Yeah, if y'all new here, welcome. We do have other episodes you can go and watch. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Or follow us if you're listening to us on any podcast platforms. We drop episodes every Friday. So we're going to get into our first segment, Child Listen.
Child Listen.
And I'm going to go first. I'm excited because my little brother, by the time this come out, will be in town to visit my sister and I. I seen my brother in May. We went to my niece's graduation, but he hasn't been out here in a while. And we're celebrating my sister's birthday this weekend. And so we have a lot of other stuff going on this weekend too. But he was adamant about her doing a little get together because he said he never gets to hang out with us like that. So excited about him coming and some drinks I'm about to mix up for this birthday party. And so yeah, that's all I got going on. Other than working the usual BS.
Not working the usual BS.
What about you, ma'am?
I've been okay. I have been still finding my footing, but still putting my feet to the fire, okay? Mm-hmm. And what I mean finding my footing is because, of course, if you watch, you know that I am full-time entrepreneur. And, it's great to, be able to have your own schedule and all of that. But you also have to continue. And we talk a lot about discipline, but make sure that you're still disciplined because it is so easy to just do things when you want, how you want. And that is the point. But having discipline to it and making sure that everything that needs to be done is still getting done and not put off because you can put it off. So just making sure that I'm doing those particular things and making sure my business stay afloat. So yeah, That's it. That's it, y'all.
Speaking of businesses, we can get into today's topic. So I don't know how old this will be by the time this come out, if we're still talking about it or not. But the stuff with Lizzo, we're not going to go into detail with everything, but I heard a perspective on something, and I was like, oh, Shakora, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Some of the things, if you know the allegations that are against her, you know. If you don't, you can Google it. It's everywhere. But then Lizzo also put her statement out. And so I heard a perspective that said some, not all, of the accusations against her seems like the cross between friendship and employee. Mm-hmm. So I asked Shakur, I was like, "Oh, can you be friends with somebody that you supervise or that you employ?"
Mm-hmm. I think that you are able to, some people are able to, and I can just speak from my experience, being in a position to be able to supervise and have been able to supervise some friends and still maintain that professional boundary, right? Mm-hmm. We're friends. We can stay friends and we will stay friends, but we'll know the boundary between our work friendship or our work setting and our friendship. So I think that it is possible. It is possible to be the supervisor of a friend. I know recently, the position that I was in as the supervisor, my friend came in and I was able to handle everything like it needed to be handled. But I know the owners of the particular company felt that there may be some, conflict,
Bias.
or bias. And, I had to reassure them, like, if anybody knows me, especially professional wise, I don't play them type of games. I don't play with no type of ethics, and I definitely do not play with my license. So, friend or not, and if this person is my friend, then they know that about me. I think it's just a sense of making sure that boundary is set. Because do I think that some people, friend or not, will cross it? Mm-hmm. You, my friend, oh, I didn't turn this in, but girl, I'm going to message you. I'm going to send it to you later. Don't girl me. So I think that it can be done with the appropriate boundaries put in place.
I agree. Because I was having this conversation with a coworker. You know how we talk. We do work. We talk about stuff too. And they were saying that they don't know if they could be a supervisor because once you get cool with somebody, there's, like you said, deadline and that boundary. And I said, it works if there's a respect factor. Mm-hmm. And then you know how to turn it on and off. Mm-hmm. When we're in a professional setting, this is a professional setting. When we're outside of a professional setting, we're outside of a professional setting. Mm-hmm. And that we can separate it like that. Like, you could say that you and I have a business together because mm-hmm. we have this podcast together. And when it's time to hit, which is kind of not the same, because when we hit record and we actually working, it's like, oh, this is a conversation. Let's mm-hmm. talk about this. But then there are also other things that we have to talk about, whether it's editing, whether it's the video, whether it's mm-hmm. this, microphone, spending money, setup or whatever. And so in that moment, yeah, we're friends, but we also, at this point, we're partners in something mm-hmm. that we're both working on. And so I feel like you can, but I also can see where people feel like, where on the other end, where people are like, well, this is also my boss. Mm-hmm. So if I tell them I don't want to do this, are they going to hold it against me or whatever, if it's not, whether we mm-hmm. in an office setting or not? Because some people don't know how to separate the two. Mm-hmm. Where I'm going to bring my personal into this mm-hmm. work matter. Mm-hmm. And then that's a whole nother ball game.
Mm-hmm. That is 100% correct. Because I've been in a position where, not being the supervisor, but mm-hmm. being the friend of a supervisor. And there is hard times where you got to talk about and discuss hard times. But I can't let the person that's delivering this information to me have the cover on as my friend right now, because you're giving me something that I need to move forward professionally, or you're giving me some constructive criticism, or whatever it is that you may need to give me. You're giving me that for not the benefit of our friendship, mm-hmm. but for the benefit of this professional setting that we're mm-hmm. in. So yeah, I definitely can see where it could be hard at, because you're like, girl, you my friend. You could have told me that at home. No, we got to have this meeting here mm-hmm. because this is our professional line, and this is where I need to tell you that. Mm-hmm. If I have to deliver some hard news to a friend in a professional setting, I'm not going to send them a text message. Hey girl, no, I'm going to send you an email so that you'll know. And then that goes again with the boundaries. Mm-hmm. You'll know, like, oh, this is my friend messaging me about, because even as the friend of the supervisor, getting a text message at 9:00 at night talking about, hey, I need to talk to you in the morning about this particular, I don't want that. You my friend at these hours. We ain't mm-hmm. friends after these hours. Don't, because if you weren't my supervisor, the person who would have been my supervisor wouldn't have texted me at 10:00 mm-hmm. at night. Mm-hmm. So on both roles, being able to set that boundary, like as the supervisor, but also as the friend of the supervisor, and being able to say, okay, no, I can't. I can text her and be like, hey girl, I'm drinking this wine, da 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 da. And then I'm going to say whatever I have for the office tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So it is. It's a fine line. I think it's a very, very, very fine line.
Right. Because in one of the accusations, it was about eating a banana from a vagina, and yeah, I know you didn't know that, but yeah, and that's where once you read some of the accusations, they were out and about in a club in Amsterdam, and if you're familiar with Amsterdam, you know that Amsterdam has a lot of sexual things that go on. Mm-hmm. I've never been, but people who have been have talked about the things that Amsterdam has, like prostitution, whatever, all that. It's not as frowned upon out here. I mean, out there as it is out here. And so they brought the angle of, it sounds, not making excuses, because nobody was there. But it's like, when there's business, there's business. When there's not, there's not. Mm-hmm. And so it made me think about, I supervise people at work, and there's, people that one who's really cool. Like, I could go have drinks with her. Mm-hmm. But it's like, could I go have drinks with you? And if I say, girl, take this shot. Mm-hmm. At this point, we off the clock. So I'm not the supervisor. Whatever we do in this setting is outside the office. Mm-hmm. But if you feel like, I'm gonna take it because she want me to take it. If she get mad, I don't do it, then she gonna use this against me. And so it was like the person who did the banana didn't really want to do it, but it was like, but this is my boss too, and I don't want to tell them no. And so I'm like, I could see that, which it takes it to, like, somebody says, I can tell you something, but I can't tell you how to react. Mm-hmm. You can tell me, whatever. You can tell me that the sky is really blue and it's not purple. But if I feel a way about it, you can't control how I feel about that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, the intention could have been that, hey, we are having fun. Let's just unwind. We've been working hard. Let's do the damn thing. But the other person's like, but you also my boss. Whoa. And in some people that you boss, that are bosses or supervisors, you can't tell them no. Because it's like, this is what I say, this is what I do. And so when they hit that angle, I was like, But take me back to what I said. I see what you're saying, but it still takes it back to establishing that line and that boundary of where, yeah, you my friend, but you also employ me. But at this setting where we're at, I'm not holding you to your job ain't at stake because you don't want to take this shot. Mm-hmm. Or your job ain't at stake because you want to leave the club at 12, but I want to leave at 2. Mm-hmm. So
that's good. That is good, because that's good. And I'm sitting here thinking, because some people do that. Some people use that role. Girl, take this shot. Nah, I'm straight. I don't want no shot. Girl, if you want your job, you gonna take this shot. Oh, that's a different thing. Mm-hmm. That's a different thing. Even in the professional setting. Hey, girl, look, I got this paper for you to sign. Da, 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 da. Girl, go ahead and sign it, all informal. Because you my friend. Oh, no. And then feeling like, I can't tell you I'm not signing that because you my friend. Or, girl, you better sign this, or this your job. That's a spin. A little spin. And that is so true, because people do that. Mm-hmm. Holding you to a point where you feel like you don't have another way. Yep. Oh, I should do this because that's my friend. Or, I have to do this because this is my boss. Yep. How dare you? Shame on you.
For the people, we ain't saying this is the Lizzo. We saying for the people that do it. And now I'm like, I still don't, even with that angle, I still don't change my stance. Because, like I said, in my role or whatever, because as a supervisor, and somebody told me this, sometimes you got to be the counselor. Sometimes you have to listen to people tell their business that you don't want them to tell you. And they feel like they have this level. And the way that I supervise is, respect me, I'm going to respect you. Or whatever. I'm not a up your ass supervisor. You do your job. That's all I can ask you to do. If I got to be up your ass, I will. And at the end of the day, you not going to mess up my money by this. Now, we can go be cool and all that after the fact, but up in these walls, yeah. If I gotta turn it on, I gotta turn it on because that's my job.
Yeah.
But like I said, when we first started this topic, I said at the same time too, you gotta be. It has to go both ways. I have to respect you, but you have to respect me enough to not put me in a position where I have to choose between doing my job or being your friend.
And it almost make you want to not have to even deal with that. And I think that's where that, oh, this is my work friend. Like, and that's it. Like, we're really, really good friends at work. Outside of work, I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you look like outside these work clothes. Like, at all. Period. And I can remember a time where that, I'll tell you, and anybody know me, I'm always going to respect people for one, their boundaries, their business, and then also respecting our friendship. But I can remember a time where I was like, oh, outside of work, because the standard that you would think that you can hold over me outside of work, or they see you doing something, I'm your supervisor or you my supervisor, and you twerking, you dancing, and then they gonna go back to work and be like, girl, did you see that supervisor over there doing it? But I wasn't your supervisor when we was in New Orleans running down Bourbon Street with a hand grenade. Like, I wasn't your supervisor then, or you wasn't my supervisor then. Oh, girl, we walk in the office, girl, you didn't recover from all that chaos you was doing. This is not the time or the place for you to be talking about what I was doing in New Orleans this weekend because you was there. You know what? Don't you worry, we won't go no more.
Which makes me think about, like, when you go on work conferences. They have meet and greets and mingles and stuff, and then people tend to go off after the fact and go to a club or a bar, whatever, which kind of like, if you put it in that terms, it's the same as a tour. We on tour, we do this show, we packed it out, we rocked it out, it's a good show, and then now we about to go out and have fun, or let's just go unwind and have fun. And it's like, for me as a conference, I'ma still treat it as, even though first of all, I'm not going out with you, because at that point I'm peopled out. I done been with y'all all down, people out. I want to go home, talk to my man, whoever at this point. But then two, even though we're done with the conference for the day and we're out, I still feel like I'm on company time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go with you anywhere that, like a club setting, because I know how I can be in a club setting. When the liquor hit and I feel like my knees work.
And oh, do they work.
So, and I'm like, ooh, boundary at this point. I can't go out with y'all or whatever. And then two, that comfort in knowing you can't hold me not going out with y'all against me. Now you can hold me pee popping on the handstand on the bar, but me refusing to go out with y'all, you can't hold it against me. So I wouldn't put myself in it. But that's where I feel you hit that fine line of. Because to me, like I said, this is still company time.
Yeah.
We out of town on a conference. We still on company time.
So what about friend first, supervisor second? We go out on company time. Do I still tell my friend first that I'm not going to have, oh, we going to a restaurant. This happened to me. You know, we're going after the conference or in between or after, whatever. You know, we go to a restaurant and then you order you a little margarita or whatnot. And then you think, oh, wait, should I order this margarita? Because I work with friend right here.
I'm going to be on the safe side and say no.
And that's how I feel. And then I think too, you know, you got to play the position, because I have been in a spot where I'm like, no, I'm not gonna take it to you and be like, well, bring me one. You know, the supervisor like, bring me one. You're not gonna have yours, but I'm gonna have mine,
because
you know
it's taking it back to the other standpoint. I don't. If you're my supervisor and we go to a conference together and we go out to eat or whatever, like we leave this conference and there's other people there. As your friend, I'm not going to I'm going to respect the position that I am with you in this moment. We are supervisor and employee. So if I wouldn't do it to anybody else, I'm not going to do it to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's why I said I would play it safe and just be like, nah.
Yeah.
Because in this moment, you're still the supervisor. You're not my friend.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a off the clock, and we out and about, and then too, if it's a company paid thing, nope, or whatever. But if we off the clock and it's a split check thing, whatever, then we cool, because, and maybe me and you not a good example, because like I said, we said in the last episode,
because you take me anywhere, I'm getting my drink now. Look,
but at the same time too, we know boundaries.
True that. Okay.
So it's like, you have to know that friend to know the boundaries that you're putting them in or that you're crossing.
Yeah. Because knowing that, like, we would be able to say, like, oh, yeah, girl, let's not do this, because girl, they already think we best of friends, so they gonna be. So I think, again, that boundary where if this is my friend for real, like, then yeah. We'll be like, girl, you don't. No, I ain't doing it either. It's hard though, especially with that situation, feeling like, oh, this is the most famous, or I'm trying to hit my break and I don't want to mess this up, so I need to do what she tells me to do, because I may lose my chance. That's tough.
It is kind of like, even when you think about married people going into business together, a lot of people, because that's one of my things. I would love to be able to partner with my man to do something with my man, but I also know from hearing podcasts where people say, we went to therapy before this, or we hit therapy every 2 weeks or once a week because of this, because as an entrepreneur, like you just said in your child, listen, you can't turn it off. So when it comes down to the business, we can't turn it off. We on a date thinking it's me and you, and we talking about business matters. And so it's like, couples even have to come back to the table and reestablish, okay, from, if it's a me and you, let's establish it's me and you. If it's a business matter, let it be business. Because at this point, you're feeling more like my partner, my business partner, than my spouse.
Absolutely. That's a tough one there. That's a tough one for real. And I know, me and Des have our businesses, but we don't collectively have a business together. But I know, just doing counseling, that people, they're struggling with maintaining, I can't tell her nothing as it relates to that business, because she gonna feel this way. Then when it's time to go to bed at night, she pissed and don't want me to touch her because I thought that this idea was better if it was done da-da-da-da-da. And so it's like, yeah, that fine line, because I do have to go to bed with you tonight, and now I'm trying to give me a little snuggle time, and you don't want me to touch you because I shot down your idea, or I didn't think your idea was good. It's tough. You got to be careful. No, babe, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's working.
Yeah, and understand that you hurting, just like you have to hurt your employees' feelings. Sometimes you may have to hurt your spouse's feelings, because they're y'all work together.
Yep. Dang. That's a tough one. And of course I saw other things against Lizzo, and I really hate that because I like her. But you know what? I found myself in the gym, and I typically will run her thing, and I skipped over and I said, "Dang, I don't even know 100% about what happened," and I didn't skip the girl, and maybe because I was in my little less lifted mood, and I wasn't trying to hear, what men
It's
would
about
do.
damn time.
Exactly. Like I wasn't trying to hear all that. So nothing against you. I still love her. I think that sometimes you're placed in a position, and as the supervisor or the boss, you have to make sure that, again, you're setting the boundary, because you never know what somebody else is thinking.
Yep.
Because when I told you to do this, I wasn't telling you as my boss. I was as your boss. I was telling you as somebody who we were just trying to sit and have a good time with. But you took it as X, Y, and Z, and now you trying to sue me for everything I got, because now you trying to be bigger than me.
Yep.
So, dang.
It's a tough spot to be in. Just, period. Like, it's a tough spot to be in as an employee. It's a tough spot to be in as the person in charge. I mean, that's why people like y'all exist, because you're going to have to go to therapy and counseling to figure out how to work. If it's a spouse related or friend related, how to work through that stuff together.
Absolutely. It is. And I don't see it as much as an issue. And I think because for the most part, people probably will put their friendship before the supervisor or whatever. Even me, guilty of it. Me being a friend. Girl, you late, girl. They looking for you. I'm slick side. I sent you a little text message. They looking for you, girl. You better, where you at? And then they ask, oh, you talk to? Yeah, on the way, because that's my friend. But anything like forcing you to do something you may not want to do, or using my friendship as power to get you to do something that you may not want to do, I'm not for it. I'm always going to, and y'all hear me say it a lot, maintain my professionalism and my ethical boundaries at all times, because you never know when someone will try to hold something over you. Like, I've been in a position where a supervisor will be the best supervisor ever, but trying to backdoor and get you to do some stuff that you wouldn't want to do. But because you're a friend, you gon' present it in this friend matter, thinking that I'm gonna do it. But guess what? Not I, said the cat.
Do it for the fun. I ain't gonna do it.
Ain't gonna do it.
Yep. So y'all can let us know in the comments. Oh, before we close it out, I will say this too. So I want to clarify. We wasn't there, so we don't know.
We don't know.
I also want to clarify too. We can base our opinions off of what we feel, but at the end of the day, we don't know Lizzo. We don't know the people accusing her of anything. Hell, Lizzo could be having kids in a basement in chains for all we know. Not saying that she do. I'm just saying you never know these people. So when it comes down to, but for me, when it comes down to supervising or managing your friends, I'm gonna be honest. There are some friends I wouldn't.
Me too.
Be in business with.
Absolutely.
Not because they're not going to be good business people. I just know that they can't separate the two.
Yeah.
And so, no. Yeah. Even like, no. Like, your friends enough to know that, like, no, I wouldn't do this with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I recently had this conversation with one of my friends, and the struggle was, having an appointment and late for that appointment. And I'm like, oh, this is this is a friend, but this is her business where I'm going to get this service from. So at the same time, I don't want to text your personal phone and be like, hey girl, I'm about to be late or whatever, because at the end of the day, you say you got a late charge and your appointment will be canceled after this. And I don't want you to think because we friends, you can't cancel my appointment. Please, if I'm late, cancel my appointment. And I understand, because I respect your business professionally and as a friend, and of course, then they can set the boundary and say, oh no, girl, let me know. Or, oh, well, I'm gonna just see the person before you, and then or however the case may be. but also too knowing the friends that you can't. Because in this conversation, my friend was like, well, I had to stop so and so from being able to do my hair because, baby, you was counseling, you want me to come at midnight, this and that, but you wouldn't did that to nobody else. So I got to find me somebody else because you can't separate the two. So I always try to make sure that I can be that person that can separate the truth. I'm going to give you what you need professionally, and I'm going to also give you what you need as my friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
So y'all can comment below and let us know what y'all think, or if y'all have an experience that you would like to share, that how you was in a situation where you was either the supervisor or the employee or the boss or whatever, or went into business with a friend, or let us know how it worked. Shakur had finished her wine while I was trying to close y'all out.
Sure did.
She ain't real.
She wasn't finna get me when you ain't drink your wine.
Anyway, if you have any questions or topic suggestions, you feel free to email us at unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. Also, while you're at it, follow us on Instagram at unapologeticallyuspod. Be sure to like, comment, subshare. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate us on all podcast platforms, and it's all minds clear.
All minds clear.
We will see you guys next episode. Bye.